The Steam Deck OLED and the ROG Ally X, two of the hottest gaming handhelds on the market, but the question remains, which one is right for you? That's the question that we're tackling today. Let's start with the Steam Deck OLED since it did release in November of 2023, and it's still relatively new. The cool thing about the Steam Deck is its instant recognition. It's becoming as recognizable as the Nintendo Switch and hitting the mainstream consciousness, which is really surprising, especially with non-gamers. The Steam Deck has mainstream appeal. The Steam Deck is kind of like the Apple of PC handhelds. They know it's not about having the top-of-the-line specs, it's about a smooth, user-friendly experience that just works. You boot it up and you know you're about to get a solid experience. You're not always pushing the highest frame rates, but when you do get a 90 FPS, it's still fantastic. Valve has built a ton of trust with gamers, which is why it's so easy to recommend the Steam Deck to just about anyone. I almost think I could hand the Steam Deck over to my grandma and she would be able to figure out how to use this thing. I'm not too sure that she could figure out how to use the ROG Ally X. Because the Steam Deck is so popular, there is a huge ecosystem of third-party accessories that you can go ahead and buy for your Steam Deck. This is a pretty big perk. Do you want a skin for your Steam Deck? Do you want a grip or a case? Or do you want a traveling case? Well, you're most likely going to be able to find it on the Steam Deck. And most likely from reputable brands like Dbrand or Satisfy. And if you want to go ahead and find more budget-friendly options, Amazon is still going to have a ton of options for the Steam Deck, which, like I mentioned earlier, just goes ahead and helps that overall Steam Deck ecosystem user-friendly experience. It's just that much more convenient for the consumer. Valve has heavily invested in the Steam Deck, and looking at their track record with hardware support like the VR headsets they released years ago, it's clear that they're going to be in this for the long haul. And I'm not even talking about just the deck itself. They've already opened the door to go ahead and support SteamOS on other PC handhelds, which just means more options for the consumers. Do you want to go ahead and play on the Windows? Okay, go for it. If you want to play on SteamOS, you're going to have that option as well. Having a choice is always going to be a great solution. Now, if we're going to say the Steam Deck is like the Apple of PC handhelds, then we have to say the Asus ROG Ally X is like a Formula One car. Raw power. If you're a gamer who likes playing AAA titles, staying up to date on the latest games releasing, there's no other handheld for you. The ROG Ally X should be at the top of the list. This thing can pretty much handle anything that you throw at it. And even when games start to go ahead and dip into the 40 frames per second range, you can go ahead and change the settings, go ahead and tweak the upscalers, just go ahead and lower that resolution, and your game is going to start performing just that much better. The Steam Deck maxes out at 800p, which in my use case has become a little bit blurry. It's gotten a little muddy. On the ROG Ally X, it has a 1080p display, which means, like I said, you can go ahead and be at 1080p at the maximum resolution, but you can go ahead and still drop that down to 900p, 720p. And with the screen's variable refresh rate, it's going to make games start to perform that much better again. You're probably going to go ahead and reach the 100 frames per second range if you're in the 720p resolution. Even though the screen of the ROG Ally X is only about 7 inches, I think I could play the entirety of Cyberpunk 2077 on this device. It just runs that well, and it really does look really good. I think I beat this game on my PS4 Pro, and I think the ROG Ally X might look a bit better than it. If you're someone who likes to travel a lot or tinker with their devices, being able to take a basically full-fledged gaming PC with you on the go is a huge perk. Imagine going to your hotel room after a long day on the road, at work, throwing on some headphones, hopping into a Discord chat, and just playing Call of Duty with the boys. And if you want to go ahead and bring an external GPU or plug this thing into a monitor, the Ally X gives you that sort of flexibility. And yes, the Steam Deck also gives you the flexibility to go ahead and use a monitor, but the Ally X is just going to be able to do it that much better because it can already hit those higher resolutions as is. Do you have games spread across multiple launchers like GOG, Epic Game Store, Xbox Game Pass, and Steam? Well, the ROG Ally X can handle all of those at once without having to do any sort of background magic. Recently, I was playing through Metaphor ReFantazio on my Xbox and PC because if you buy one, you get it on both. But I was really wanting to play it on a handheld, and I just couldn't do that on my Steam Deck because, well, you can't download Game Pass onto your Steam Deck. But that's not a problem with the ROG Ally X. I just went ahead and downloaded Xbox Game Pass, downloaded my copy of Metaphor ReFantazio, and boom, I was able to go ahead and play my game while still playing at the same spot I left off on from my Xbox and PC. It's really made my entire Xbox PC ecosystem just that much better and just way more convenient for myself. I love being able to access all of my games on one device. So the question remains, which one is right for you? And it's going to be cliche, but the answer comes down to you. What kind of gamer you are. What kind of habits and needs do you want from a gaming handheld? If you love cozy games and appreciate a seamless gaming experience, then maybe the Steam Deck is something you want to look into. But if you're someone who doesn't mind a little bit of tweaking and you want the best gaming performance possible, I really think the ROG Ally X might be your new best friend. But I really think the answer you're looking for is really going to come down to what type of games you're interested in. Maybe just like look back and see like, what are the last 5 games I bought? Are they AAA titles, or are they more like indie comfort cozy style games that really could benefit by being played on the Steam Deck? Everyone's gaming habits are different. Ultimately, both are going to be great options for you. They're both fantastic handhelds, and I really don't think you can go wrong with either one. It's just going to come down to what kind of gamer am I personally? And no one's going to be able to answer that question but yourself. But let me know in the comments below, which one do you prefer? Which one have you been using, or have you already bought one from years ago? I want to hear from you. And if it's not too much to ask, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you're liking the content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that as well. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.